All right, let's dive into this story the way it deserves. Today, we're talking about a potential move that's got the NFL world buzzing. There's real talk about a veteran quarterback possibly joining the New Orleans Saints, reuniting with a familiar face after an unexpected retirement that caught just about everyone off guard. This isn't just another offseason rumor. It's the kind of move that could shift dynamics, stir emotions, and who knows, maybe even rewrite a franchise's trajectory. For context, let's rewind a bit. Since the dawn of the 21st century, the Philadelphia Eagles have been a model of consistency and success. Year after year, they've remained relevant, competitive, and often dominant. Meanwhile, other teams have stumbled, trying to find their footing amidst coaching changes, front office overhauls, and a never-ending quest for a franchise quarterback. And a contrast between a well-run organization and one that struggles to establish an identity couldn't be clearer. And when we lay out the stats, you'll see exactly why this conversation matters so much. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the numbers, here's a timely reminder. The NFL schedule is dropping on a Wednesday. And you better believe that as soon as it hits, we're going to break it all down game by game, matchup by matchup, painting a picture of what lies ahead for the Eagles in 2025. The anticipation is already building, but there's no shortage of drama in the meantime. Let's circle back to the big headline that shook fans over the weekend. Out of nowhere, it was announced that a quarterback had been dealing with a shoulder injury. Initially brushed off as a minor issue, it quickly escalated when further reports confirmed he would be retiring after more than a decade in the league. That revelation blindsided fans and analysts alike. Drafted in the second round all those years ago, his career was anything but conventional. His path was filled with highs, lows, comebacks, and setbacks, making him one of the more intriguing figures in recent NFL history. When the team released their statement, they didn't shy away from the details. Apparently, the quarterback started feeling discomfort in his throwing shoulder during off-season preparations. This was his first extended throwing session since recovering from a previous concussion and a hand injury sustained in a game. He immediately reached out to the medical staff, and after a series of evaluations, the diagnosis was sobering. A labrum tear coupled with significant degenerative changes in the rotator cuff. For any quarterback, this is devastating news. The labrum is crucial for shoulder stability, and the rotator cuff is essential for the mechanics of throwing. When both are compromised, it's not just a setback, it's a potential career ender. And in this case, that's exactly what it turned out to be. Despite his best efforts, his body simply couldn't keep up with the demands of the position. It's important to remember just how impactful that this player was at his peak. Multiple Pro Bowl selections, over 41,000 passing yards, ranking 22nd all-time, more than 3,700 completions, again securing a top 20 spot in league history. He threw for 157 touchdowns, held a passer rating of 92, which might not scream elite, but was certainly above average. These numbers don't lie, yet for some reason his name rarely gets mentioned among the elite. Part of that is due to how his tenure with his first team ended, underwhelming and full of what-ifs. His move to a new franchise didn't yield a career resurgence many had hoped for either, but through it all, his professionalism, leadership, and character remained unquestioned. Many believe that if not for a severe ankle injury during an MVP caliber season, his legacy could have been dramatically different. That injury was a turning point. It derailed what could have been a Super Bowl run and set off a series of events that he never fully recovered from. Adding insult to injury, he had to watch as another quarterback was forced to start in a critical playoff game, a moment that symbolized the abrupt shift in his career trajectory. Even so, he managed to finish with 3 consecutive winning seasons, though none translated into playoff victories. But context is everything. He stepped into a franchise that at the time was mired in dysfunction. Ownership drama, coaching instability, constant roster turnover. He was asked to lead in a chaotic environment with no solid foundation beneath him. When he arrived at the Raiders, the organization was in turmoil, far more concerned with relocating to a new city than building a championship caliber team. He endured a carousel of head coaches, each bringing a different philosophy, none providing long-term stability. Eventually, it became clear a change of scenery was needed. His move to the Saints was seen by many as a fresh start, though it was laced with skepticism. Reuniting with a coach who had his own struggles raised eyebrows. Was this really going to revive his career? The jury was out. Looking back, it's easy to see why things didn't pan out as hoped. After that standout season in 2016, the quarterback never quite recaptured the same form. Injuries, front office blunders, coaching missteps. It was a perfect storm that kept him from reaching the heights many had envisioned. His postseason record, or lack thereof, became a running joke among critics. Still, it's unfair to dismiss his entire body of work based on team failures. Now, this raises an interesting scenario. Could this player, now retired, follow a path similar to other former quarterbacks who transitioned to media, only to stage a dramatic return after some time away? Think about it. A couple of seasons on the sidelines, maybe a podcast here, TV appearance there, and then out of the blue, a post on social media announcing his comeback. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen such a storyline unfold, and given his experience and skill set, it's not entirely out of the question. The timing of this discussion is no coincidence. The Saints find themselves at a crossroads, preparing for a quarterback competition that could define their immediate future. Under the guidance of a new head coach, a former offensive coordinator, the franchise is gearing up for a three-way battle at the most important position in sports. They've got a second-round rookie, a soon-to-be 26-year-old prospect, a veteran backup many view as a third-string talent at best, and a former five-star recruit with a turbulent college career. This young quarterback, once hailed as a can't-miss prospect, struggled to find his footing at a prestigious university before transferring and showing flashes of potential. While not the tallest signal caller out there, his arm strength is undeniable, and he's got the tools to develop into a legitimate starter. The competition in New Orleans is wide open, and the outcome will be crucial for a franchise that's dangerously close to hitting the reset button. In the wake of Carr's retirement, trade rumors have started swirling. Could another team look to offload a quarterback to the Saints? Would a player like Tanner McKee fit the bill as an immediate solution? McKee's profile is intriguing. One of the more polished backups in the league, he's shown glimpses of starting caliber play. He's still on a rookie deal with 2 years remaining, making him a low-risk, high-reward acquisition. For the Saints, this could be the perfect opportunity to stabilize the position without mortgaging the future. But here's the kicker. Acquiring McKee wouldn't come cheap. A trade would likely involve a second or third round draft pick, a price that reflects the premium value of the quarterback position. Even though the Saints recently invested a second rounder in a quarterback, the reality is that you can never have too much talent at that spot. Depth, competition, and contingency plans are all part of building a successful roster. From the other team's perspective, moving McKee makes sense if the return is right. Rather than risk losing him for nothing in a year or two, they could secure valuable draft capital now. And let's be honest, quarterback-needy teams are always willing to pay a premium. McKee's skill set is well documented. His size allows him to survey the field effectively. He's accurate, anticipates throws well, and while not a dual threat, his pocket awareness compensates for his lack of mobility. He's not afraid to stand tall amidst collapsing pockets, absorbing hits while delivering precise passes. His mechanics, decision-making, and poise under pressure have impressed scouts and coaches alike. Remember that game late last season? He stepped in against a division rival, completed 3 of 4 passes, 2 of which went for touchdowns, totaling 54 yards with a perfect passer rating. In his first career start, he followed up with an efficient performance. 27 completions on 41 attempts for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, leading his team to victory. Those flashes aren't flukes. They're signs of a quarterback who, given the right environment and coaching, could develop into a reliable starter. For the Saints, pulling the trigger on a trade like this might be the smartest move they could make. The question is, will the front office be willing to part with valuable draft assets to make it happen? As for the team looking to move McKee, they've got their own quarterback hierarchy to manage. The established starter isn't going anywhere. Behind him, Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord are set to battle for the backup role. Dorian, a 5th-round pick with athletic upside, caught the team's attention with his college production and pre-draft visit. Kyle McCord, one of the top quarterback prospects in his draft class, brings a different skill set and long-term potential. Keeping both would provide depth and flexibility, making McKee somewhat expendable if the price is right. In the grand scheme, it's a classic NFL conundrum, balancing short-term needs with long-term vision. For the Saints, the time to act is now. Their quarterback room needs clarity, and McKee could be the piece that brings it. For the other team, flipping a late-round pick into a second or third rounder is smart business. Everyone wins. And now, I'm curious, if you were the general manager, how would you approach this trade? What would be fair value for a quarterback like Tanner McKee? Would you hold on to him for one more season, hoping his stock rises? Or would you capitalize on his current value and make the deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is the kind of debate that makes the NFL offseason so fascinating. Every move, every decision has ripple effects that can shape the future of a franchise. We'll continue this conversation because there's still plenty to unpack, especially with the Eagles set to open their season against a familiar foe. But that's a story for another moment. All right, let's pick up right where we left off. While the future of the Saints quarterback room remains a hot topic, there's another storyline brewing that's impossible to ignore: the opening matchup of the 2025 NFL season. The Philadelphia Eagles are set to clash with none other than the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field. That's right, one of the most intense rivalries in the league will kick off the new season on Thursday, September 4th, under our primetime lights. The stage is set, the narratives are rich, and the stakes could not be higher. It's fascinating how history repeats itself. The last time these two powerhouses faced off in a season opener was back in 2000, a game that would go down in history as the infamous pickle juice game. For those who need a quick refresher, that was the game where the Eagles, under brutal heat, famously consumed pickle juice to combat cramps and fatigue. The strategy worked. Philadelphia dominated from start to finish, sending a clear message that the rivalry was alive and well. Fast forward 25 years, and here we are again, ready to witness another chapter in this storied feud. Since the turn of the millennium, the trajectories of these two franchises couldn't be more different. The Eagles have established themselves as one of the most successful and well-run organizations in the NFL. 17 playoff appearances, 8 NFC championship games, 4 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 Lombardi trophies. Those numbers speak volumes about the culture and consistency in Philadelphia. They've weathered coaching changes, roster turnovers, and yet they've remained relevant at the highest level. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, despite being one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world, have struggled to translate that financial might into sustained success on the field. Since 2000, Dallas has only managed 10 playoff appearances. More telling, they have failed to reach a single NFC championship game during that span. For a team that prides itself on its rich history and legacy, that's a glaring drought. The contrast with the Eagles is stark. Philadelphia has evolved, adapted, and continued to build competitive rosters, while Dallas seems stuck in a perpetual cycle of hype and disappointment. What's even more ironic is how Cowboys fans cling to their 5 Super Bowl rings as a badge of superiority, dismissing the Eagles' achievements since 2017. They love to point out that Philadelphia has only 2 Lombardi trophies compared to their 5. But in the harsh reality of sports and in life, what matters most is recent success. What have you done for me lately is the unspoken mantra that governs every franchise. And in that department, the Eagles are light years ahead. This rivalry is about more than just numbers. It's about pride, identity, and the constant battle for supremacy in the NFC East. Every year, Cowboys fans proclaim that this is their year. Every year, the narrative is recycled. New coach, new system, Dak is back, defense is elite. This time, it will be different. And yet, year after year, they fall short. Whether it's a meltdown in December, a first-round playoff exit, or simply failing to meet expectations, the pattern is painfully familiar. On the flip side, the Eagles approach each season with a clear plan, building through the trenches, investing in depth, and making savvy front office moves. Their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, continues to grow into one of the league's premier dual-threat weapons, leading a balanced and explosive offense. Critics who once doubted him are now forced to acknowledge his impact. Meanwhile, the Cowboys continue to hitch their hopes to Dak Prescott, a talented but inconsistent signal caller whose postseason resume leaves much to be desired. As we head into the 2025 season, this opening matchup isn't just another game. It's a statement opportunity for both teams. For Philadelphia, it's a chance to assert their dominance early to remind everyone why they are perennial contenders. For Dallas, it's an opportunity to finally change the narrative, to prove that they can deliver when it matters most. The national spotlight will be unforgiving. Every play, every decision will be dissected by fans and analysts alike. The anticipation is already palpable. Highlights from last season's battles between these two teams are being replayed endlessly, each clip reigniting the passion and animosity that defines this rivalry. Social media is flooded with debates, predictions, and of course, the usual trash talk. Eagles fans flaunt their recent achievements, while Cowboys fans cling to their historical accolades. The banter is relentless, and it's only going to intensify as kickoff approaches. Beyond the rivalry, this game holds significant implications for the broader NFC playoff picture. Both teams are projected to be in the postseason mix, and an early victory could provide a crucial tiebreaker down the line. Momentum is everything in the NFL, and starting the season with a win against a hated rival can set the tone for the months ahead. Conversely, a loss can spark doubts, fuel criticism, and create unnecessary pressure. It's worth noting that the Eagles' success isn't just a product of on-field talent. Their front office, led by one of the sharpest minds in football, has consistently made calculated moves to keep the team competitive. From drafting impact players to executing shrewd trades, they've built a roster that's both deep and versatile. The Cowboys, on the other hand, often seem more focused on splashy headlines than building sustainable success. High-profile signings and flashy draft picks grab attention, but rarely translate into meaningful postseason runs. This discrepancy in organizational philosophy is reflected in the team's performances over the past 2 decades. While Dallas markets itself as America's team, the Eagles have quietly become one of the league's most respected and feared opponents. Their blue-collar mentality, relentless work ethic, and commitment to excellence resonate not just with their fan base, but across the league. As the countdown to September 4th continues, both teams will be fine-tuning their strategies, analyzing film, and preparing for what promises to be an electric atmosphere at Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles will look to exploit mismatches, leveraging their dominant offensive line and dynamic playmakers. The Cowboys, if they hope to reverse their fortunes, will need to execute flawlessly, minimizing mistakes and capitalizing on every opportunity. For fans, this game is more than just football. It's a chance to reignite the age-old battle for bragging rights, to cheer, to jeer, and to be part of something bigger than themselves. Rivalries like Eagles versus Cowboys are the lifeblood of the NFL. They embody the passion, the drama, and the sheer unpredictability that makes this sport so captivating. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that is already sending shockwaves through the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles have announced the acquisition of superstar wide receiver Tyreek Hill, marking what many are calling the biggest signing in the franchise's storied history. Hill, widely regarded as one of the fastest and most explosive players in the league, joins the Eagles after a remarkable stint with the Miami Dolphins, and his arrival is being hailed as a game-changing moment for a team already on the cusp of greatness. The deal, reportedly involving a massive financial commitment, underscores the Eagles' determination to win now. Philadelphia has consistently been in the playoff conversation over the past few seasons, but the addition of Hill elevates their offense to an entirely new level. Known as the Cheetah for his unmatched speed, Hill brings a unique threat to opposing defenses, one that forces coverage schemes to adjust and often crumble. His ability to turn short passes into long gains and stretch the field with deep routes will perfectly complement quarterback Jalen Hurts' dual threat style. And the team's dynamic offensive system, Fans and analysts alike are already buzzing about what this means for the Eagles' Super Bowl aspirations. With Hill lining up alongside elite talent such as A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, Philadelphia now boasts one of the most formidable receiving corps in the league. Head coach Nick Sirianni will have no shortage of options when crafting game plans, and defensive coordinators across the NFL are undoubtedly scrambling to find answers. Tyreek Hill's signing isn't just a personnel move, it's a statement. It signals that the Eagles are all in, that they're willing to make bold moves in pursuit of a championship. For a city that lives and breathes football, this is more than just a headline. It's hope. Hope that the Lombardi trophy might once again find its way back to Philadelphia. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.